Brian Windhorst said that there are no teams in the NBA that are interested in acquiring LeBron James. So what we want to do now is want to play the video for you guys. Take a listen to what Windhorst had to say.
This clip delivers the bombshell that set the sports world on fire. Brian Windhorst, a longtime ESPN insider, drops a truth bomb about LeBron James's actual market value. He challenges the entire narrative crafted by ESPN's own pundits for weeks. The tension is palpable as the host sets up Windhorst's revelation, hinting at a seismic shift in the NBA landscape. For months, we've heard whispers, rumors, and outright predictions that LeBron James was in high demand, a king dictating his terms. But what if all of that was just a smokescreen? What if the narrative ESPN was pushing was built on a foundation of lies? This isn't just about LeBron's contract. It's about the credibility of an entire network. The stakes couldn't be higher. Is LeBron James truly undesirable? And if so, how did we get here? The sports media industrial complex has been in a frenzy for weeks, trying to dictate the LeBron James narrative. They've peddled stories of multiple teams lining up, ready to empty their war chests for the aging superstar. But in a stunning reversal, Brian Windhorst, often seen as an unofficial mouthpiece for LeBron's camp, completely shredded that illusion. He exposed the cold, hard truth. LeBron James, for all his GOAT status, has no leverage in the open market. Remember all the drama? The cryptic Instagram posts, the decision teasers, the power plays orchestrated by Rich Paul. It was all designed to create a bidding war, to paint LeBron as the ultimate prize. But now, that illusion has shattered. The Lakers, once seemingly desperate to retain their aging king, have pivoted dramatically. What does this mean for LeBron's legacy, and more importantly, for his future in Hollywood? It's a question that many in the sports world are suddenly scrambling to answer. Has the king's reign truly come to an end? Or is this just another calculated move in his legendary career?
Who is coming to offer LeBron James a big contract? Nobody. There's a bunch of teams that want him. The Lakers essentially are bidding against themselves. So they have to make a decision. And this decision they've been known coming is for a while. As Shams said, what is the Lakers' next order of business? First order, get Austin done. Check. Which direction are they going?
In this segment, Windhorst directly articulates the lack of market interest in LeBron James. He highlights the dark reality. Nobody is coming with a big contract offer. He points out that the Lakers are essentially bidding against themselves, indicating LeBron's perceived value elsewhere is not existent. Windhorst also masterfully frames the Lakers' dilemma: prioritize LeBron or build a stronger roster. This isn't just speculation, it's an insider's view, delivered with striking clarity. The fact that a reporter so closely associated with LeBron is delivering this message makes it sting even more. It's a complete dismantling of the LeBronist priority narrative that has dominated sports talk for over 2 decades. The silence from other teams speaks volumes, doesn't it? It suggests a collective understanding across the league that a 40-year-old max contract player, no matter how legendary, is a risk no one is willing to take on. This wasn't just a casual observation. It was a stake through the heart of the carefully constructed LeBron James myth. The idea that 10 to 12 teams were lining up to sign LeBron, as Rich Paul claimed just weeks prior, now sounds like a desperate fantasy. Why did ESPN personalities like Stephen A. Smith, Vince Goodell, and Kendrick Perkins spend days advocating for the Lakers to sign LeBron, no matter what? Were they truly blind, or were they complicit in pushing a narrative that simply wasn't true? The urgency in their voices, the feigned concern for LeBron's future, it all rings hollow now. The Lakers' recent moves, especially the massive contract for Austin Reeves, speak louder than any pundit's hot take. What does this tell us about the true priorities of an NBA franchise? It's a stark reminder that loyalty, especially in professional sports, has its limits. So, what exactly is going on behind the scenes that ESPN chose to ignore for so long? The truth, it seems, is far less glamorous than the headlines. The Lakers are playing chess, while the media was playing checkers. What happens when the king realizes he's been checkmated?
This is the first time where he's not even the top priority on his own team. I wonder how that makes him feel. Now, if the Lakers have come to LeBron and said, LeBron, we're going to take care of Austin Reeves first, and then we're going to go and try to make these other moves, and then we're going to present to you a roster and tell you how much money we have left.
Vince Goodell's take here is particularly cutting. He points out that for the first time in his storied career, LeBron James is not even the top priority on his own team. This is a seismic shift. It all highlights the potential insult to LeBron's ego and the power structure that Rich Paul thrives on. He suggests that if the Lakers haven't even communicated a plan to LeBron, that is essentially a plan B, a shocking demotion for a player of his caliber. This isn't just about money, it's about respect, leverage, and the perceived power dynamic that LeBron has controlled for so long. Phil's concern for how this makes LeBron feel is a subtle jab at the superstar's famously fragile ego. After years of dictating terms, to be an afterthought on your own team must be a bitter pill to swallow. What does this power vacuum mean for the Lakers' future, and will LeBron accept a diminished role? This moment exposes the utter hypocrisy of ESPN's programming. For so long, they've built an entire cottage industry around LeBron James, celebrating his every move, defending his every misstep. Now, as the harsh realities of age and contract negotiations set in, their narrative crumbles. Stephen A. Smith and his colleagues, who spent weeks on air, practically begging the Lakers to prioritize LeBron, are left backtracking, desperately trying to save face. Why the sudden pivot? The truth, as Brian Windhorst revealed, is that the market simply isn't there for a 40-year-old max player. The Lakers, like any smart franchise, are looking to the future. They've invested in younger talent, securing Austin Reeves, and seemingly building around Luka Doncic. LeBron's playoff record with the Lakers, a dismal 212 over the past 14 games before this season, tells a story the media conveniently ignored. Was LeBron ever truly the answer for long-term success? Or was he just a short-term high-cost gamble? The franchise has clearly chosen a different path. How will ESPN reconcile its previous proclamations with this inconvenient reality? The silence is deafening. Will they ever admit they were wrong?
The Lakers are dead bird tall grass. Straight up. Straight up. And I never want to come on here because I'm always a big person that's going to advocate for guys getting their money. But the Lakers just showed us that they're two franchise guys that they believe in.
Kendrick Perkins, always one to speak his mind, delivers a blunt assessment. The Lakers are dead bird, tall grass. Straight up. This vivid metaphor perfectly captures the franchise's precarious situation. He argues that by prioritizing Austin Reeves, the Lakers have signaled their true franchise guys are Reeves and Luka Doncic, effectively sidelining LeBron. Perkins, known for advocating for players getting their money, frames this as a betrayal or a clear demotion for LeBron. It's a powerful statement, highlighting the shift in power within the Lakers organization. The raw, unfiltered nature of Perkins' commentary cuts through the PR spin and reveals the underlying tension. This isn't just an opinion, it's a gut feeling from a former player who understands the locker room dynamics. What does it say about LeBron's standing when even a player advocate like Perkins sees him as an afterthought? Perkins' insight cuts deep, revealing the Lakers' new identity and the harsh truth about their championship aspirations. He even goes on to identify Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves as defensive liabilities, a critical flaw if you're aiming for a title. This analysis further cements the idea that the Lakers are moving past the LeBron era, building a team for the next decade, not the next year. The reports that Luka Doncic demanded an Alice center to cover perimeter defense further underscore this strategic shift. The message is clear. The Lakers are designing a roster around their young core, and LeBron no longer fits that mold, certainly not at a max salary. The host's blunt assertion, echoing Windhorst, is that no team will pay a 41 or 42-year-old max dollars. It's simply basketball malpractice. How long can a superstar cling to past glory when the entire league has moved on? The dream of King James leading another championship parade in LA is officially over. But is LeBron willing to accept a lesser role in a smaller paycheck? Or will his ego drive him to a new, perhaps less illustrious destination?
No one in the NBA, let me repeat, no one in the NBA is going to pay a 41, 42-year-old max dollars. It is not going to happen.
This clip delivers the ultimate, undeniable truth about LeBron James's contract situation. The host states, with absolute certainty, that no one in the NBA is going to pay a 41 or 42-year-old max dollars. He calls it basketball malpractice, emphasizing the financial irresponsibility of such a move. This isn't just about LeBron's individual skill. It's about the cold, hard business of the NBA. Teams are investing in future assets, not declining legends. The directness of this statement is brutal, cutting through all the fan adoration and media hype. It's a reality check for anyone still clinging to the fantasy of LeBron commanding another massive payday. The message is clear. Sentimentality has no place in a league driven by winning and financial prudence. This is the moment the fantasy officially dies, and the harsh realities of professional sports take center stage. Does LeBron truly believe he's above the rules of age and market value? The host isn't pulling any punches. He argues that the Lakers, with their newfound cap flexibility, are in a unique position to build a title-contending team around Luka Doncic. This mission excludes a max contract LeBron James. In fact, the host boldly suggests the Lakers should only offer LeBron the veteran minimum. Imagine that. The greatest player of his generation, reduced to a veteran minimum contract. This is the ultimate test for LeBron. Does he play to win, or does he play for money? At 41 or 42, the host asserts, he can't do both. The Lakers' move with Austin Reeves, quickly securing him before Detroit could offer a max deal, serves as a template. Is LeBron is truly worth max money? The host challenges, then let another team offer it. But as Windhorst confirmed, those offers aren't coming. This is a stark 180 from Rich Paul's earlier claims of 10-12 interested teams. Where are those teams now? The truth, it seems, is far simpler and far more humiliating for LeBron. The game has passed him by, at least in terms of commanding an elite contract. Is this a wake-up call, or will LeBron continue to chase an elite?
The Lakers have not offered LeBron James a contract extension, and there's been zero communication. If it isn't more obvious than this, I don't know how much more obvious it needs to be. They didn't offer him an extension last year. So if they didn't offer him one last year, what's the likelihood of them offering him one this year? That was the indication that the franchise was ready to move on. That's what it meant.
This clip reveals the smoking gun. The Lakers have not offered LeBron James a contract extension, and there's been zero communication. This isn't a rumor. It's a confirmed lack of action, a public rejection. The host highlights that this isn't a new development, recalling that the Lakers didn't offer him an extension last year either, even when he was an All-NBA player. This consistent inaction signals a clear intent from the franchise. They are ready to move on. It demolishes any lingering hope that the Lakers are still deeply committed to retaining LeBron at his asking price. The silence from the Lakers front office is deafening, a stark contrast to the urgency seen in securing Austin Reeves. This is not how you treat a player you consider indispensable. It's a calculated decision, publicly communicated through inaction, and it means the LeBron era in Los Angeles is effectively over. What more evidence do you need when the franchise itself is speaking volumes through its silence? The Lakers' actions are screaming what ESPN's talking heads refuse to acknowledge. They didn't offer LeBron an extension when he was an All-NBA player last year. Why would they do it now, a year older and with diminishing returns? The host rightly points out the illogical nature of the media's insistence that LeBron is still essential. Can the Lakers not win a championship without him? Of course they can. Other teams have done it, proving that one player, even a legendary one, doesn't guarantee success. The era of LeBron or bust is over. This isn't just a business decision, it's a cultural shift. The Lakers are embracing a future where they can build a younger, more athletic, and financially flexible team, free from the shadow of an aging superstar. The twerking for LeBron, as the host calls it, has had no effect in the real world. Real decisions are being made, and LeBron is not at the center of them. This shift in the NBA landscape raises an even more pressing question. If an icon like LeBron can be so easily cast aside, what does it mean for player power in the league? It's a harsh lesson for players and media alike. But this wasn't the only controversy rocking ESPN and the NBA this week. We now turn our attention to another stunning display of bias, this time from one of ESPN's most prominent figures. What happened at the NBA draft that sparked such outrage?
As you guys remember, when that scandal initially broke, a lot of people were jumping to conclusions. And one of those people was Malika Andrews, to the point where she made an absolute ass of herself on ESPN First Take, and Stephen A. Smith essentially had to check her on live air because
this clip sets the stage for Malika Andrews' controversial history, specifically referencing the Ime Udoka scandal. The host reminds us that Andrews was quick to jump to conclusions, making assumptions about power dynamics without full details. He calls out her behavior as making an absolute ass of herself on First Take, even requiring Stephen A. Smith to check her on live television. This is a critical context highlighting a pattern of behavior from Andrews. It suggests a predisposition to certain narratives, particularly those that frame men, especially black men, in a negative light. The host questions the rush to judgment and the collective pandering that often accompanies such controversies. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a documented history that has shaped her reputation. What does this tell us about the journalistic integrity, lack thereof at ESPN? And what impact does it have on the narratives they choose to push? The host pulls no punches, labeling Malika Andrews a feminist with selective outrage, a characterization he's consistently applied to her. He argues that she disproportionately targets black athletes, always being first in line to criticize them, a pattern that has earned her widespread condemnation for years. This isn't a casual observation, it's a direct accusation of bias, backed by specific examples. The Udoka scandal was just one instance. Remember the Brandon Miller controversy during his draft night? Andrews was front and center, condemning him. But then, as the host highlights, she went quiet as a church mouse during the Josh Giddey scandal, an athlete accused of similar indiscretions, but notably not a black man. This blatant double standard is a glaring problem, and it raises serious questions about Andrews' impartiality as a sports journalist. Is it fair to expect objectivity when a commentator consistently demonstrates a clear agenda? This isn't just about personal opinion, it's about a pattern that undermines trust. So when did this selective outrage become ESPN's official policy?
Whenever it's a black athlete, she has a lot to say. She's always the front on the front, and she's been roasted and called out for this for years now. Even going back to the Charlotte Hornets player Brandon Miller during his draft night. Then after they tried to, after the Celtics decided they were going to suspend him, or they're going to ultimately fire him, I believe, they were now going off to thinking of signing Joe Mazzulla. Then she went on air and started pulling up his old dirty. I'm like, what is like?
This segment further solidifies the host's argument about Malika Andrews' selective outrage. He reiterates that she's always the front when it comes to black athletes, citing the Brandon Miller draft night controversy as another example. The contrast becomes stark when he mentions her silence on the Josh Giddey situation, implying a racial or gender bias in her critiques. This isn't just about disliking her. It's about observing a consistent pattern of behavior that suggests a double standard. The host clearly believes that ESPN has allowed, and perhaps even encouraged, this selective targeting. It's a bold claim, directly challenging the integrity of a major media outlet and one of its prominent faces. This pattern of behavior isn't just irritating, it's damaging to public perception and journalistic ethics. If a journalist can only find outrage when a black man is involved, can they truly claim to be impartial? This selective outrage isn't just unprofessional, it's profoundly hypocritical. Why does ESPN allow this bias to persist unchecked? The host then points out a shocking detail. ESPN allegedly had to force Malika Andrews to say something about the Josh Giddey situation due to her reputation. This isn't just selective outrage, it's a deliberate choice to remain silent when the narrative doesn't fit her perceived agenda. It exposes a deeper issue within ESPN, suggesting a network either tolerant of or actively promoting biased reporting. The question isn't just about Andrews, but about the institution that enables her. This selective condemnation undermines the entire concept of fair journalism and perpetuates harmful stereotypes. It sends a clear message. Some athletes are fair game for public shaming, while others, depending on their race or background, are protected. This background, this history of overt bias, is crucial for understanding her most recent controversy at the NBA draft. What happened on that night that pushed so many people, across racial lines, to their breaking point? The draft is a moment of joy and celebration, but for Malika Andrews it became another platform for her divisive agenda. What shocking statements did she make, and how did they betray the spirit of the occasion?
The mothers did, and let me say this: mothers are important, and they play a significant role in a child's life, but so does the father. But if you listen to Malika Andrews, you would have thought that these children were just born with one, like they didn't even have other parents there. You would have thought that they had deadbeat dads.
Here, the host drills down on Malika Andrews' most recent offense at the NBA draft. He clearly states that she made the entire thing about what the mothers did, while going out of her way to do everything but mention the fathers. This is a damning accusation, especially in a community where the narrative of absent black fathers is often wrongly perpetuated. The host emphasizes that while mothers are vital, fathers play an equally significant role, and Andrews deliberately erased their presence. The visual contrast with fathers literally standing there makes Andrews' omission even more egregious. This isn't just an oversight, it's a deliberate act of exclusion, a choice to push a specific, divisive narrative at a moment that should have been universally celebratory. It highlights her consistent pattern of diminishing the contributions of black men. How could someone on such a prominent platform be so tone-deaf to the impact of her words? The internet, of course, did not let this pass, dragging her for her blatant bias. But what did the public say, and how did it reflect a growing frustration with ESPN's messaging? The internet, as always, became a court of public opinion, and Malika Andrews was especially from black fathers who are often unfairly stereotyped. The comments reveal a profound frustration with Andrews' perceived incompetence and agenda-driven reporting. One person called the network an effing joke, directly linking Andrews' behavior to ESPN's declining credibility. The host underscores the sheer disrespect of ignoring a father who was not only present, but was a professional athlete himself. Is this just poor journalism, or is it a deliberate attempt to rewrite the narrative of fatherhood within the black community? The question looms large. What hidden agenda is Malika Andrews truly serving?